This is Tee to Green, Central Ohio's premier golf show. Now here's your host, recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Southern Ohio PGA of America and Hall of Fame, the Fan's own Skip Mosick.
And hi again, everybody. Good morning. Welcome into another season of Tee to Green here on The Fan. It's our favorite time of the year. Always kickstart the season with the Masters. Great first couple of days at Augusta. Cole just told you about that. We'll head there shortly and check in with SI.com's Bob Herrig. A big weekend of college golf. The Ohio State women's team is hosting the annual Therese Hession Buckeye Invitational over at Scarlet. We'll visit with Ohio State coach Lisa Strom. And as always, we have another great golf prize package that someone will win this weekend. We'll have details for you coming up shortly on that. But we are coming to you this morning from what I like to call my favorite par 3 in the city. We're at Ohio Stadium. The annual football spring game comes your way at noon here on The Fan. We're joined this hour by the very first guest we ever had on this show almost 30 years ago, PGA professional Paul Hollenbaugh, director of golf at New Albany Country Club. Paul, good morning. Thanks for coming out and doing this.
Good morning, Skip. I always enjoy seeing you. It's the start of spring.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's chilly this morning, but the sun is just beaming out there, so hopefully a great day to get out.
Yeah, I forgot my sunglasses. Thanks. Yep.
Before we get into the Masters, Paul, we need to talk about the obvious. Your daughter, Kari, part of the Ohio State women's golf team, as mentioned, in action this weekend at Scarlet, but big time in the news last week, invited to the Augusta National Women's Am. She makes the cut and got to play in the final round on Saturday. What was that experience like for you as a proud papa?
Well, I wanted to take it all in, so it was great for me. I'm sure it was even better for her, but I just took it all in. I stood by the I got her one of the Augusta National caddies, so I didn't caddy for her just because I figured they knew the greens better.
Sure.
Keep the family emotion out of everything. So I stood, but I was allowed, since I'm her coach, I was allowed to go on the range. So I just, as she was getting her physio and her stretching in the morning, I just stood by the little hut there and sat in a chair and just kind of took it all in and watched all the people come in, most of them going to the merchandise area, and it was just a wonderful time.
We'll actually visit with Kari for a couple of minutes later this hour, but Paul, tell us the story of, because I love this, when you took her down there for the very first Augusta National Women's Am 5-6 years ago.
Right. One of my members was able to get us tickets to the very first Augusta National Women's Am, and that's when Jennifer Kupcha won the tournament. And I think Kari was 14 at the time, maybe 13, and we just enjoyed the whole process of the tournament, and how when she won, Kari got a high five from her as she walked through the line, and I think that really motivated her to pursue golf. And she said, I want to play, and she also, the Masters is something that they don't have for the women, but this is the women's Masters.
The highlight for the week for you was what of last week? Just for you. But aside from her making it to Saturday and playing on Saturday, what was if you had to pick out a single highlight?
Just her teeing off on the first tee,
yeah.
And her name happened to be on the leaderboard at that time, and just seeing that made it feel like, hey, this is really something. Well, it is really something special.
Let's transition into this week, Paul. One of our favorite weeks of the year. Wish the weather was a little bit warmer here, but the Masters really kind of kickstarts the golf season here locally. We were kind of teased with the weather about a month or so ago. I can't mow my lawn yet because it's still too wet out there. But how wet is your golf course out at New Albany?
We have great drainage at the club, so that's good. But we still don't have the range open, which is unusual. Mm-hmm. It's just not germinating. It's not good enough to hit off the grass yet. So it's hopefully, next week, and we get some better weather, we'll be ready to go. Members are chomping at the bit to get out there, I'll tell you what. I was going to
ask that. I've got the itch to play. I can only imagine.
We have an indoor area, and that place is packed every day.
Let's head down to the Masters right now, Paul. Just your thoughts on the first couple of days. I mean, what a great leaderboard.
A lot of favorites up there, and I was impressed with Justin Rose. He always seems to play well those first few rounds. A great round yesterday by Rory. Everybody is saying he's done, he's not going to do it, and all he did is come out and shoot a 66 yesterday, which is a phenomenal round.
You mentioned Rory. I mean, it looks fantastic down there, but danger can lurk at any time, and we saw that with Rory on Thursday afternoon. 2 out of the last 4 holes makes double, and just chips it over the green into the water on 15.
Yeah, and that green, I was there. Where that green is, where that pin was, is almost impossible to hold it. Even if the greens are a little bit dry, softer. So that pin placement, he had a great shot in there, and pretty good shot. The couple groups before, Cantley knocked 2 in the water from that same position. So, it's not like he hit it bad. He probably didn't pinch the chip quite like he wanted to, and it went into the Race Creek there.
Paul, on television, Augusta National looks just so perfect. Everything that you see, you were just there. Is it like that in person as well?
Yeah, what's really amazing, everybody says it's more undulated than everything else, but one thing that I really think is cool is most areas are fairway height or less. So you're looking at basically a fairway throughout the whole facility, which is amazing. And everything is clean, nice. I was with one guy at the caddy area, and if the trash can wasn't perfectly put into the trash container, they had to get a new one. So, the attention to detail there is phenomenal.
As we get older, we have different favorite parts of this week, Masters Week. What's your favorite part of this week as far as that golf tournament, and maybe has it changed over the years as you've gotten older?
Well, now you can watch everything online, so it's so cool just sitting there in my office at work, flipping watching the tournament online. But I've always enjoyed the Sunday afternoon, almost marking out my lesson book at 4 o'clock and just going home and flipping that TV on and listening to Jim Nantz's voice.
Hello, friends.
And have that whole experience.
The honoree ceremony special every year. We saw that again Thursday morning early. Bernhard Langer was a story yesterday. His final Masters, 67 years old, and my goodness, he played great. Unfortunately, misses the cut by 1. He bogeys 18 to miss it by 1.
Yeah, I listened to his interview following the tournament, and you know what? He's a competitive guy because he said it was kind of bittersweet because he wanted to make the cut, but it's still a special day for him and his family.
Well, speaking of post-round interviews, let's hear from some of the players now as we get you warmed up with some chip shots.
97.1 The Fan's Tee to Green Chip Shots, presented by BMI Federal Credit Union.
Tremendous leaderboard midway through the Masters. Justin Rose sits atop the leaderboard at 8 under par after a 65 Thursday. Rose saying the wind affected his play somewhat on Friday, but still managed a 1 under par 71 to retain the lead.
Decent day for sure. Nice birdie at 12, and then the finish, obviously just a few too many fives coming in. Didn't really take advantage of the par fives, although they were both playing tough today. They were into the wind. I didn't feel like there was much value in trying to force birdies out of those holes. And then made 2 good swings really on 14 and 17, but just misjudgments on the conditions and the wind. But those 2 fives could have been 2 birdie putts quite easily, and it would have changed the complexion of the round a little bit. But overall, under par, in a great position going into the weekend.
Rose leads by 1, and Paul Hollenbaugh, you brought this up earlier. He's been in this position before. He's been the leader at the midway point, just unable to close the deal so far down at Augusta.
Yeah, he's 44 years old, so that's phenomenal. Somebody keeps himself in great shape. Looking at his golf swing, I don't see much wrong with it. Although he makes that big, huge dip move into his left side, I think he's trying to make sure his weight's loaded. But he has had some trouble in the last few rounds, but that's not unusual for anybody at that level.
One back of Rose is Bryson DeChambeau with a 68 Friday, a round that Bryson says he made the most of.
Was hitting it a lot better today, and there's just a few moments where, like on 10, kind of got out of whack, and I was able to save this round with my wedges and some huge key putts. Getting up and down on 10 was one of the better up and downs of my life. Hit a great shot on 9, just didn't control the spin like I'd wanted to. Spun that off the green. But overall, today was a fantastic day of golf and some testing conditions.
Interesting to see how the LIV guys play down in any major championship, but DeChambeau proving once and for all that last year was no fluke. He picks up right where he left off last year, Paul.
No, he's a worker. I think some of the other guys on the LIV Tour, it's a little different way of doing it, but DeChambeau hits the ball so far. His drive on 11, I think, was 370 yards. That makes that hole for him, driver wedge. For everybody else, they're not even able to get it up on top of the hill where they're hitting 4 and 5 iron, and even some of the other guys hybrids in. So big advantage on length for him.
Two back of Rose are Corey Connors and Rory McIlroy at -6. Rory, of course, with the brutal finish on Thursday, doubling 2 of his last 4 holes. McIlroy on shaking off that finish to post a bogey-free 66 Friday to get right back in it.
Yeah, I think overall just proud of myself with how I responded today after the finish last night. I just had to remind myself that I played really good golf yesterday, and I wasn't going to let two bad holes sort of dictate the narrative for the rest of the week. And but yeah, just ultimately, just proud of how I got back into it today.
4 players are 3 back at -5, including defending champion Scotty Scheffler. Scheffler is 71 Friday and said conditions were tough, especially in the afternoon.
I had a couple 3 putts. I didn't hit as many fairways. I got myself in trouble off the tee on 18, and it's really tough out there with the conditions. Extremely challenging when you get greens this fast and you get that much wind, especially when it's gusty. It can be quite challenging, and I did a good job of making some key up and downs, and I had to chip it on 12, good up and down for par on 13. I took advantage of a look there on 14, and overall, I felt like I did some good things out there to stay in the tournament.
Again, all chasing your leader, Justin Rose, heading into the weekend at 8 under par. Masters really the only thing happening this week in the professional golf world, but we want to send congratulations to former Buckeye Maxwell Moldovan, who collected his first professional win last weekend in Rio on the PGA Tour Americas. Way to go, Max. College golf this weekend, the Ohio State women hosting the Therese Hession Buckeye Invitational today and tomorrow at Scarlet, while the men are playing in their Buckeye Classic, wrapping up today at Columbus Country Club. Your leaderboards were brought to you by BMI Federal Credit Union. Check them out at bmifcu.org. Coming up, more Masters talk. We'll head down to Augusta and check in with Bob Herrig of SI.com. That's next as Tee to Green continues here on The Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now,
just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon.
Even if this promo is playing in the morning.
No judgment.
Ah, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Find everyday savings and bargains on produce, meat, and more. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting long-term lower prices. With our weekly sales, deals for days promotions, and My Perks loyalty program, Giant Eagle helps make the most out of every shopping trip. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle and Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
Hey, it's Anthony for Orthopedic One. I'm not invincible anymore. I never was, but I refuse to punt on things I still love to do. That's why over the past several years, when I've had things creep up, like back pain, shoulder issue, elbow problem, I've had it all, I've always chosen Orthopedic One. That's because Orthopedic One is Ohio's largest physician-owned orthopedic practice with 60 physicians in every specialty. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com. Orthopedic One. This is where you go to get better.
We're catching up with that famous deep-sea explorer, Jacques Black-Jacques. Jacques, where are you today? You're in Columbus. What could you possibly be exploring in Columbus?
The April showers bring flooding to Batmans.
Oh, I see. Spring rains mean basements are flooding.
This not necessary. Apex Pros.
Not necessary. Call Apex Pros.
A simple zoom pump chick.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble understanding this. Zoom pump check. Sump pump check. Are you saying sump pump check?
Oui.
Yes, of course. Sump pump check from the pros who knows at Apex Pros.
They come to your house.
They come to your house.
They test your zoom pump.
They test your, what is it again?
Zoom pump.
Some pump, right.
All with a 5-star guarantee.
All with a 5-star guarantee. Now, see, I understood that perfectly.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Goes to
Rothman and Ice has been named the best midday show in the country by our industry peers.
A winner if ever there was one.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Also, Common Man and T-Bone has been named best show at sucking. The Fan.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track back to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free Healthy Leg Screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com. Looking to up your golf game this summer? Swing into the Fairway, Columbus' premier indoor golf facility, featuring state-of-the-art TrackMan simulators, a spacious clubhouse vibe, and world-class service. It's the perfect place to play, train, or host your next event. Choose from over 350 courses worldwide, or fine-tune your swing with TrackMan's advanced range options, the same tech the pros use. Located in Upper Arlington, skip the long drive and grab a summer range pass today. The Fairway. Golf elevated.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. And Rich and his team are ready to get you in a great new Honda this spring. Purchase or lease. He's going to make you feel awesome about your next vehicle and your experience. Grab a hold of this one, a 2025 Honda Accord Hybrid Sport. Lease it for only $347 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles, and only $19.99 down. He's got rates as low as 2.9%. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
This is Tee to Green with Skip Mossick on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back, everybody. The season premiere of Tee to Green Masters Week. We have a great golf prize package that somebody's going to get the opportunity to pick up this week. We have golf for you to go out and play out at the Virtues. Looking forward to being out there in a few weeks. Balls from our friends at Titleist. Plenty of fan goodies we'll throw in there for you this week as well. It's very simple to enter. Send me a message via the X by 11 a.m. at Skip Mossick, or go to 971thefan.com. You can find me on the X there. Do it by 11 a.m. Give me your winner for this week's Masters. We'll do a drawing of all those who picked the winner correctly. Just one entry per person. If we draw your name, this great prize package will be yours.
This is Backspin. Tee to Green Backspin.
Let's head down to Augusta now. Longtime golf writer, one of the best, Bob Herrick, joins us via the telephone from Augusta National. And Bob, midway point of the Masters, Justin Rose, your leader. And you look at this leaderboard, Bob. How good is this leaderboard, and how good might this weekend shape up to be?
Yeah, good morning, Skip. It's a really good leaderboard. I mean, it's kind of what you dream of, right? It's got a bunch of major champions in the mix. Bryson's right there. Rory's right there. Morikawa had a nice day yesterday, not too far behind. Tyrrell Hatton, who's a terrific player, and maybe guys don't see him as much because he's with Liv, is in there. And obviously Justin Rose is he's been a consummate pro for 20-plus years. This is his 20th Masters. He's led after several rounds, never won. He lost in a playoff to Sergio a few years ago. So, it's shaping up really nice. And, I think we're in for a great weekend.
Bob, one of the interesting storylines, and you brought up Liv, is how the Liv players will fare in these majors. Bryson DeChambeau picking up right where he left off last season with his play in the majors. Is there something, I guess, that you can see out of Bryson that maybe keeps him more ready for the competition of these major championships than maybe some of his other peers on Liv?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think some of what we've seen this weekend from the Liv guys is a little surprising. Sergio missed the cut. He's been playing well for Liv. Neiman barely made the cut, had a bad back nine yesterday, shot 40. He's one of their best players. He should be an elite player in the world no matter where he plays. Koepka made an 8 on the last hole to miss the cut. DJ doubled it to miss the cut. Those are the guys that you kind of expected to be in this, and they're not. So, but Bryson, you know what? He rededicated himself last year. After all kind of the drama of Liv and the departure and some of the stuff subsided, I think he just decided I need to just focus on being a better player and get away from some of the division, some of the bad talk, And he did. Last year, he went to Augusta in January last year. He did it again this year. Just to kind of, once again, plot his way around. He had not done well here before. You remember several years ago, he made the comment after he won the U.S. Open at Winged Foot that Augusta should be a par 67 for him. And, boy, that didn't go over very well when he wasn't shooting 67. And so finally last year he figured it out. He led after the first 2 rounds, solo leader, then tied, and ended up tying for 6th. Very good showing. And then went on to, darn near won 2 majors. He was second at the PGA and won the U.S. Open. And here he is again. I mean, I don't think we should be surprised. I guess maybe the surprising thing I'd say about Bryson is why isn't he winning on LIV? Since the U.S. Open, he has not won a tournament over there. But look, we shouldn't be surprised, and it's going to be fascinating to see because he didn't play that great yesterday. His short game saved him, and let's see if he can get that figured out.
We're chatting with Bob Harig this morning. Bob joins us from Augusta National, Tee to Green here on the Fan. PGA professional Paul Hollenbaugh also sitting with us this morning.
Hey, Bob, how you doing, man? Hey, a quick question. This is kind of getting off the subject a little bit, but the Masters is great. DeChambeau, I mean, I think he's one of the favorites to come in at the end here. But my question for you, I got a little tour of your press building there. That place is phenomenal. I guess it's brand new, and you got your own locker. It's pretty cool. Are you enjoying that experience?
Just as a backstory, Bob, Paul's daughter, Kari, played in the Women's Am last week, and she made the cut and played there last Saturday.
Yeah, I think I could hang out in there.
Yeah, I was here for the Women's Am. That's become a great event. I've mentioned many times, if you would just give me a bed, I just wouldn't leave. I'd stay in there because they've got a locker room, they've got showers, they got plenty to eat. It's a great place to work. This is actually our 9th year in there, believe it or not.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
It opened in 2017. Basically, the day after the 2016 tournament ended, they put shovels in the ground, and that thing, which had to cost multi-millions, I mean, it's got a ton of tech in there. It's huge. A lot of their people work out of there. There's their own digital teams. It's immense, and it was ready to go the next year. It's incredible, like the resources they have to make that happen. I mean, I would also tell people, it's way over the top. We probably don't need something quite that nice. We're used to working in very makeshift, venues. I mean, when you go to a golf tournament, they don't have structures for the media that are built for the full time. A lot of times it's a tent. Sometimes you're in a ballroom. I mean, so this thing is off the charts. And I mean, I'm not complaining. It's really, really nice. And, everybody who gets to work out of it, greatly appreciates it.
All right, Bob, let's talk briefly about Rory McIlroy. So much pressure building on him trying to finally win this tournament for the first time. Played great on Thursday for 14 and a half holes. Had to be so disappointed with his finish. But then what does it say about him to see how he shrugs it off really yesterday, a bogey 366?
Yeah, look, I was one of those who thought it was over for him because that was crushing what happened. First of all, on 14, he missed about an 8-footer that would have got him to 5 under. And then he hits a great drive, and there really wasn't much wrong with the second shot. You don't want to come up short. He drilled an iron that, hit on a very, very hard green. And then, look, he made a mistake that's easy to make, but I think is one that has sort of plagued him. He said yesterday that he didn't think he hit that bad of a shot. But the problem is you've got to know, he knows, that green has been redone, and usually new greens are really firm, and you just cannot make that mistake. You have to err on the side of even chipping it and leaving it short of the green. Because even if you do that, you're probably still going to make par, and at worst, you're going to make bogey. By bringing the water into play, you pretty much are going to make double. It's crushing. And then on 17, he just, look, guys are going to miss greens. He hit it over, and then he didn't hit a great chip, and he three-putted. That if people are saying, well, if he had made 2 pars, I'm just saying if he'd have made 2 bogeys, how much would that have changed? But here's what was great about yesterday. You know, when he teed off and when he was like on the second hole and he made birdie, he was probably like 7 or 8 back. Rose was well into his round. And what Rory would have done in the past is he would have pressed. He would have tried to make birdies where he maybe shouldn't have to catch up. And he didn't. He played the front 9 and 1 under. He was patient. And then he went on a run. You know, he birdied 10 and 11, 2 of the hardest holes. Then he eagled 13. You know, and he got a break. That's what you need sometimes. You got a break. He thought his approach shot, the 4-iron, might have gone in the water. Instead, it got on the green. It was like the Phil shot from 15 years ago, except it wasn't through the trees. And he had a 10-footer for eagle, which he made. There you go. You take advantage of your break, and he didn't make a bogey. I mean, 66 without a bogey. It was a great bounce back round, and now he's only 2 back. And look, if we would take away Thursday, if you just told us and we didn't know how it happened that he was going to be 2 back going into the weekend, everybody would say that's phenomenal. That's great. That's exactly what he wants. You know, he doesn't have to be leading. He just wants to be there because he's not been there. Usually he's way out of it at this point at the match. That's what's killed him. He's not been able to stay close enough to the lead. So that's, I think, the goal today. He doesn't have to shoot really, really low. You just want to stay in touch with the lead. Like you want to be, if you're not in the last group, you want to be in the second to last group like he is today. You give yourself a chance.
Bob, last thing, we know the decorum at Augusta National is very high. There are some things you just don't do there as a patron, caddy, or player. Tell us about U.S. Amateur Champion Jose Luis Ballester. I had to chuckle when I read your write-up on what he did on Thursday, but tell everybody briefly about it. Did he just lose his mind and forget where he was?
Yeah, listen, you know, that has created quite a stir. I probably haven't written a story that will get that much attention, which, you know, and is a little sad in a way, but I get it. This is the world we live in. And look, I had heard what happened. I did not see it. The beauty of no phones at Augusta is that's something that wasn't captured. It would have been otherwise. But so, you know, when I heard about it and I felt pretty confident that this happened, you know, a lot of people were going to just go with it. And I told a colleague of mine, I will not write about that unless I have a chance to ask him. You know, like, because who knows what happened? And so I did. I was one of the ones out there to talk to him, and I thought I put it as delicately as I could. I asked him if he had an emergency. You know, like, I think we've all been there, especially on a golf course. Of course, we're not on the golf course.
We're not at Augusta, yeah.
Right. And, you know, unfortunately for him, I think his youth kind of came out there because he thought it was funny and he didn't, like, downplay it. He should have just probably said, yeah, look, you know, I saw those guys were going to take a long time on the green. I was in a little bit of trouble. I just had to go and just sell it that way and then apologize. But he didn't, and then so, you know, he came under a lot of scrutiny. You can imagine the people here were not happy. They're not happy we wrote about it, you know?
I bet.
And so that created some embarrassment. Yesterday he fell on his sword and apologized. Obviously he didn't want to talk about it very much. And you know, hopefully he'll be known for his golf, more of his golf. Look, he won the U.S. Amateur last year.
I know.
He's a heck of a player. So.
All right, Bob Harig. Fans can check your workout at SI.com. We love reading your stuff. Bob, thanks for joining us from Augusta this morning, okay?
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good day.
All right, coming up, college golf here in town this week. The Ohio State men are in action at Columbus Country Club hosting the Buckeye Classic. Meanwhile, the women are at Scarlet as they host the Therese Hession Buckeye Invitational. Up next, we'll hit the range with women's coach Lisa Strom, an Ohio State junior, Paul's daughter Kari, who played at Augusta last week. We'll talk about that next as Tee to Green continues here on The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. like asterisk-free checking. An account that's filled with features, but no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. Because it's your money, right? So we think you should keep it. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney.
Bring more fresh to Easter with great deals at Meijer. Savory Meijer's Spiral Sliced Half Ham is 79 cents a pound with M-Perks Limit 1. Discount automatically applied once you enter your M-Perks ID. Del Monte canned vegetables are $1 each. And a 5-pound bag of yellow or red potatoes is only $4.99. Decorate your home and table with Easter decor. And make Easter a good deal sweeter for your little peeps with toys, candy, and more. Hop into Meijer, where Easter is a good deal better. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Can I get Mega Millions?
Good choice. Mega Millions is bigger than ever. Jackpots now start at $50 million and grow faster.
Sounds mega.
And now, every game has a built-in multiplier, so all non-jackpot prizes are multiplied between 2 and 10 times.
Bigger prizes, better odds, and just $5? Give me 2.
Mega Millions is bigger and better than ever. Get your tickets today at your local Ohio lottery retailer. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. You know, my wife and I picked out a beautiful A-frame porch swing with a nice covering on it. We could sit out, get shade from the sun, watch our kids play in the backyard. We're reclaiming our backyard, and we're doing that with Getchy's Amish Country Furnishings in Dublin. You can do that, too. Their spring open house event runs now through April 19th. Some of the best savings of the year on poly furniture, play sets for the kiddos, whatever you need to complete your outdoor space, you'll find it at Getchy's in Dublin. You can also see the selection at AmishCountryFurnishings.com. Once again, that's AmishCountryFurnishings.com.
We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Your family may not listen to you, but we will. Sundays at 11, it's The Fan Call-In Show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. You're welcome.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
With the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads for just $10.
So Duralast pads are free?
Yep.
And an upgrade is just $10?
That's right. Part of the spring sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Is your AC ready for summer? Don't wait for the heat to hit. Weak airflow? Warm air? Strange noises? These are warning signs your AC needs attention. Our skilled technicians offer AC repair services or replacements to keep your family cool all summer long. Don't sweat it. 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning has your back. Here to keep your home cool all summer. Visit onehour.com to schedule today. Financing options available.
Picture this. You walk into a Tim Hortons and get a warm toasted English muffin or a buttery biscuit layered with fluffy fresh cracked eggs, melty cheese, and savory sausage or bacon. Now imagine that breakfast sandwich for just $3 when you buy any size coffee, hot or cold, because when you're running on empty, you want a breakfast that does more than just fills you up. So start your morning with Tim's, because you deserve a breakfast that's as good as your day is going to be. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Offer valid only during breakfast hours. Exclusions apply. Additional terms apply.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking ahead to mostly sunny skies here for today, but a few clouds around here in the afternoon. High temperatures into the middle 50s. And then for tonight, mostly clear with patchy frost and lows down into the lower 30s. By Sunday, we're tracking mostly cloudy skies and a slight chance for a couple rain showers, otherwise dry, and highs back into the upper 50s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Aaron White on 97.1 The Fan.
Miss it, Noonan. Miss it. This is Tee to Green with Skip Mossick on The Fan.
Welcome back, everybody. Masters Week. We have a great golf prize package that somebody's going to get the opportunity to win. We have golf to go play out at the Virtues. We have balls from our friends at Titleist. Plenty of fan goodies we'll throw in there for you this week as well. It's very simple to enter. Send me a message via the X at by 11 a.m. at Skip Mossick, or go to 971thefan.com. You can find me on the X there. Do it by 11 a.m. Give me your winner for this week's Masters. We'll do a drawing of all those who picked the winner correctly. Just one entry per person. If we draw your name, this great prize package will be yours.
You are listening to Tee to Greens on the Range.
On the Range is brought to you by the Fairway Columbus. Check them out at thefairwaycolumbus.com. Awesome setup there on Henderson Road in Upper Arlington as we hit the range this morning over at the OSU Golf Club, where the Ohio State women's team is hosting the Therese Hession Buckeye Invitational. Earlier, we had a chance to visit with Ohio State coach Lisa Strom and Paul Hollenbaugh's daughter, Ohio State junior Kari Hollenbaugh.
Kari, obviously we want to start with you coming off a whirlwind week down at Augusta with the Women's Am. Tell us about the whole experience.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience, and it was more than I could ever imagine. I think just being there with all of my friends and family and Coach Strom and Coach Hession, just being there supporting me the whole way and just experiencing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and being able to play Augusta National and get to eat dinner there and walk around, it was pretty special.
We talked to her father about his experience and how proud he is. How proud is it for you as a coach?
Well, there's nothing really like it. You know, it's a tradition unlike any other, as we often say, but to walk the fairways with one of your players at Augusta National is really a dream come true every time.
Kari, tell us about I love the full circle moments as far as your dad taking you down there to the very first tournament maybe 5 or 6 years ago to coming back now full circle and you actually getting an opportunity not just to be invited but to make it to the final round on Saturday.
Yeah, when I think back to just being there with my dad, I would have never expected myself to actually be playing in it, and that's pretty cool just to see years and years of hard work and just time that I've put into it just to receive that invitation and kind of memories that came back to me when I was on the course with my dad, and that was pretty cool just to remember that.
Your second 9 on Saturday, I'm sure not what you dreamed up, but just the whole experience in general. You played so well the first 2 rounds. Would you have preferred to play? I know there's a practice round on Friday that everybody gets a chance to play. Do you think that maybe paused your momentum a little bit?
Yes, I think it did a bit. It was a little different to play a practice round in the middle of a tournament, and I think I was 3 under on the front 9 during the practice round, and I was kind of trying to set my mind back and just kind of take it slower and use it as a practice round more than I was still in a little bit of tournament mode, and towards the end of the back 9 I was more like chipping around, just trying to get a feel for the course, and it was definitely different getting back on the course on Saturday and actually having to play a tournament round.
Yeah, that second 9 on Saturday, again, it was up and down for you, but you did get to finish with a birdie though on 18. How cool was that?
That was pretty cool. It was almost like my least solid shot of the day on the last hole too, but it ended up being the best, and that's how golf is. And I think just ending the week on a high note, even though I didn't have my best stuff, it was pretty cool just to see the crowds cheering and just end on a birdie. So
what I thought was interesting, Lisa, is that her finish, I want to say tied for 22nd, it kind of parallels a little bit with her ranking right now as well, does it not?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, coming in 929th in the world her freshman year, fall season, to see where she is in the top 25 of the world right now is just a testament to her growth and her coachability and her maturity as a player and a person. And, you know, a big thing for us in our program here is we talk about who you are as a person, and that dictates a lot of how you do things off the golf course and on the golf course. And it's just, she has skyrocketed, and we always try to remind her and keep her humble. The best is yet to come too, you know, and a lot of these experiences are truly just the culmination of a lot of hard work, but there's still a lot of fun things ahead of her in her early golf career. But let's not forget the chip in on 11 either.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
A lot of people weren't around, including myself. I was over getting an egg salad and a barbecue chicken sandwich because I don't do pimento. But anyway, I heard a big roar, and I think a few of us might have not witnessed it, so we've heard a little bit about that.
Well, tell us about it. Just to spell it out for us as far as what happened there at 11.
Yeah, I hit it a little bit right off the tee, and I had an open shot if I were to hit a draw, and I clipped it perfect, but no draw. So it went kind of right where I aimed. The pin was middle left, so right was definitely the miss, and it was a pretty similar chip to Larry Mize.
Was it really?
And
right is always the miss on 11.
Yeah.
Well, we know that, yes.
A little bit. I had a little bit more green to work with than he did, but it was one of those chips where you had to kind of just get on the green and let it trickle over the hill. So it kind of almost stopped and then went down the hill and just was tracking. And I was like, oh, that could go in. And then I just saw the ball disappear, and I kind of threw my hands up in the air. I was like, yes. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. Just hearing the crowd, too.
Last thing on last week, what was the biggest difference as far as, we mentioned you were there as a spectator 5 or 6 years ago to actually getting a chance to play the golf course?
Yeah, it was definitely different being actually on the course. I think when you're a spectator, you don't realize how difficult it is, and just the little nuances about it, the undulation on the greens, the undulation on the course. And I think I had a few memories of Jennifer Kupcho and Maria Fassi battling it out on the last couple holes, and that was pretty cool to just experience playing the last couple holes in a tournament.
Well, Coach, let's transition into your team a little bit. Kari and the rest of her teammates have had a pretty good last couple of events. Down at Clemson, I mean, everybody seemed to play great down there. Who besides Kari played great down there? And I guess how nice is it to have everybody kind of trending in the right direction this time of year?
Yeah, that's a big thing that we emphasize in our program. We want to be playing our best as we're heading into the stretch run of our season, and I think we're starting to hit our stride right now. We've got a young lineup with Kari only being a junior. We've only got one senior on our team in Faith Choi, and so she's got a ton of experience alongside Kari, but then we've got 3 freshmen that are really stepping up in a great way. So, down at Clemson when we shot 45 under, we had a great performance out of Joyce Moreno from Spain, and she's just really starting to see a lot of her hard work and efforts. I remind them, the work you do 6 months ago is what we're starting to see pay off right now. So it's been neat to see her grow throughout her season here. And then, Nellie Ong has had a tremendous run in her freshman year, lots of top 20s for her. And then Mandy Song, who actually competed in an LPGA event in China, her home country, was able to get back in our lineup and join us down in Clemson, and had a very, very awesome second round and a kind of a bounce back from her first round to shoot 64. She really overcame some mental hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
She's gotten as low as 5 under before, and she always kind of stumbled coming in, but she really kind of unlocked some keys to her success. So, like I said, it's a young team, so we're kind of a little bit green behind some of them, but we're really excited about what we've got coming ahead.
The event this weekend, folks are hearing us here this morning, here at the spring game. Want to stop over later on at the OSU Golf Club. But tell us about the Therese Hession Buckeye Invitational. It's an annual event, been going on for years, but who else is going to be here in town?
Yeah, so we've got a great field of teams. We've got a couple of Division II teams that are really super high level, but Michigan State and Wisconsin will be here. And we've got a nice little rival going between Michigan State. I'm good friends with Stacy up there, and love to compete alongside her and her team. So super excited. We're an 8:30 shotgun for 36 holes on Saturday, and then an 8:30 shotgun on Sunday.
Kari, with all the rain we've had, we know how long this golf course is. Is it playing any longer right now? I assume yes, but maybe no.
Just a bit. It's a little bit softer, but nothing too muddy. So it's good.
Coach, last thing, we know that low scores are the goal in golf, but not necessarily in the classroom. And I happened to see something this past week where your team had some pretty remarkable cumulative grade point average. Talk a little bit about that and how proud you are of your team and sort of what they're doing in the classroom.
Yeah, we talk a lot about things in our team room. There's 3 things that tug at your time in college athletics. It's your academics, your athletics, and then your social life. Mm-hmm. And you can be really good at 2 of them. And they're really good at 2 of them, and they're the 2 that we hope they get really good at while they're here. So they're killing it on the golf course. The academic side of things is amazing, and I'm super proud of them to have that high team GPA in the small roster, not necessarily stature. Right. We were wondering if it was based on, because gymnastics, I think on the men's side, was the small team roster as well. But we don't know if it's height related or if it's just size of roster. We're going to get some clarification from our academic advisor on that.
I just saw a little bit north of 3.6 as far as your cumulative.
Yep.
That is awesome. It's very impressive. Are you as competitive in the classroom as far as your grades too? We know you're on the golf course.
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty competitive with my grades. being
she had to do some work down at Augusta while she was there too. Yeah.
Being a finance major can be a little bit hard sometimes, but it's all about balancing out the time that you have to study and the time that you have on the golf course. And I think for me, I'd rather spend a little bit more time on the golf course, so a little bit of a sacrifice on grades sometimes, but nothing too bad. So.
Ohio State junior Kari Hollenbaugh, proud of you. Been following you for a long time. And again, Buckeye Nation, it was awesome to see what you did last weekend. And Coach Lisa Strom, have a great event this weekend. We know a couple of biggies coming up. We'll talk to you more about those in the coming weeks. But have a great couple of weeks, okay?
Thanks, Kip. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you. Go Bucks.
Again, Big Ten's coming up next week. They will host the NCAA Regionals coming up in early May. On the Range was brought to you by the Fairway Columbus on Henderson Road in Arlington. They have some cool stuff coming up in May that we'll be telling you about in the coming weeks. Check them out at thefairwaycolumbus.com. More Masters talk, and we'll wrap things up with PGA professional Paul Hollenbaugh tip or two as we start your golf season as Tee to Green continues here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
There's a new way to surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and Market District. Shop Giant Eagle's uncompromising quality at a reliable price with everyday savings. Look for signs throughout the store to find bargains on produce, meat, and more. At Giant Eagle, we combine exceptional customer service and quality foods, all at great value to make the most of your shopping trip. Visit Giant Eagle or Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One. Several convenient locations around Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, go to www.orthopedicone.com.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I always have the greenest lawn in the neighborhood. It's luscious. I swear by two things, water and Weed Man. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will make sure your lawn is weed-free and looking gorgeous. Of course, they get rid of weeds, but they also do aeration, mosquito control, grub control, crabgrass prevention, and flea and tick control for your four-legged friends. For a free quote, give them a call, 614-733-3747, weedmanusa.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Buy now with pre-tariff pricing at Coughlin Kia. Lease a new 2025 Kia K4, just $195 a month plus taxes and fees. Or choose low 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2025 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
1.9% for 60 months equals $18.37 per 1,000 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents per mile over. 2025 due. Excludes $250 dock fee, $400 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 4/30/25.
Now that we're done washing our balls, it's time to tee it back up. This is Tee to Green with Skip Mossick on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back, everybody. Tee to Green here on The Fan. Masters Week. It is our season premiere. You have until 11 to send me your winner for this week's tournament via the X. You do it by 11. We'll pick a random drawing of everyone who picked the winner correctly, and we have a great golf prize package that we have for you every week throughout the entire golf season. PGA Professional Director of Golf at New Albany Country Club, Paul Hollenbaugh. Thanks for coming down and doing with us here this morning, Paul. We always love having you down for the first show of the season. Our very first guest some 30 years ago was Paul Hollenbaugh here on Tee to Green. With your golf academy there at the country club, I know you're able to teach year-round, something that many of us aren't able to take advantage of, that sort of thing. What's the best advice you would give to many of us, Paul, who maybe haven't even seen our golf club since we packed them up for the wintertime?
Well, that's a great question, Skip, because most people just go right into it. They'll pull out a bucket of balls and hit a bucket of drivers, and then they could be done for the season. So my recommendation, and the pros, they stretch for hours prior to a round. I don't know if you need to do that much, but start slowly. Start with the fundamentals. Start with hitting some wedges, short game shots. Develop a feel for the season rather than going out there and just banging balls as hard as you can and get injured, and it becomes a frustration to people. But if you can hit some solid wedge shots and some solid pitch shots, some putts, even if it's a little cold out like it is this morning, you can go inside and hit a few putts and get the feeling of what the greens are like.
Chipping and putting are, again, the key to many of us getting out there and making good scores. But you lose, let's face it, you lose your touch. Putting in your living rooms is much different than being out there on the grass. And the grass is different this time of year until things start warming up and the growing season begins.
Right. So it's good if you can get out to a green where they're, real grass. Obviously, that's an advantage. But anything you can do to get a little bit of a feel for your tempo, rhythm, timing, that's going to pay dividends later in the season. A lot of people will start, almost playing a short course. They'll play 3 or 4 holes and build up to 9 holes and build up to 18 holes. There's no reason to go out there and try to play 36 holes because it's a beautiful day.
Paul, I know you'll be teaching most of the weekend, but will you get to enjoy any of the Masters this weekend?
I have it taped, and I'll definitely watch it. Like I said, my little Sunday afternoon.
Men of a certain age who'll tape it versus whatever. I mean, come on.
That's right.
You sound like Keels up here. I taped the game. I did whatever.
Right.
It's like you got to be kidding me. Paul, thank you so much for coming down here. We always love when you hear Paul Hollenbaugh on the radio, you know it's golf season. Thanks for coming down here, okay?
Thank you, Skip.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Again, you have until 11 to get me your winner for this week's Masters. Do it by 11. Send me a message via the X at Skip Mossick or go to 971thefan.com. You can find me on the X there. Again, Buckeye football spring game coverage comes your way next. For Cole Bartimas, I'm Skip Mossick. Enjoy the golf this weekend. We will talk to you again next Saturday morning at 9 for another edition of Tee to Green right here on The Fan.
In church next Sunday to save me from those double bogey blues.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
with the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads for just $10.
So Duralast pads are free?
Yep.
And an upgrade is just $10?
That's right. Part of the spring sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Is your AC ready for summer? Don't wait for the heat to hit. Weak airflow? Warm air? Strange noises? These are warning signs your AC needs attention. Our skilled technicians offer AC repair services or replacements to keep your family cool all summer long. Don't sweat it. 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning has your back. Here to keep your home cool all summer. Visit onehour.com to schedule today. Financing options available.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more locally grown goodness to life with a farm-fresh selection of crisp vegetables and juicy, ready-to-eat fruit. Whether topping off kebabs on the grill or adding healthy color to a leafy green salad, your family will definitely enjoy the delicious taste of Meijer produce. Plus, you'll appreciate the selection and savings we have to offer. That's the fresh-picked good life, priced for real life. We work hard to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay, moving up payday so you could get your money faster, up to 2 days faster. And there's no cost. It's your money, right? So stop playing the waiting game. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
Picture this. You walk into a Tim Hortons and get a warm toasted English muffin or a buttery biscuit layered with fluffy fresh cracked eggs, melty cheese, and savory sausage or bacon. Now imagine that breakfast sandwich for just $3 when you buy any size coffee, hot or cold, because when you're running on empty, you want a breakfast that does more than just fills you up. So start your morning with Tim's, because you deserve a breakfast that's as good as your day is going to be. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Offer valid only during breakfast hours. Exclusions apply. Additional terms apply.
When your sump pump is no longer sumping and pumping, please don't become a sump pump grump.
A sump pump grump thinks whacking the pump will make it start working again.
But it never does.
Get ECO. ECO. A sump pump grump will let a faulty sump pump completely ruin a perfectly good day.
Fortunately, I've invented a solution.
No more sump pump grump?
No more sump pump grump.
Get ECO. ECO. Tell me about it, Jerry.
The solution is that you get ECO to do a sump pump inspection.
What would that include?
We check your pump, your battery backup, and all the downspouts and drains along the way to make sure everything is running clear.
How much?
That's up to you, Aaron.
Jerry, ECO would be happy to do that for just $89.
That's a great price.
Get ECO. ECO. ECO plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.